Welcome to JSA TV and JSA Podcasts, the newsroom for telecom and data center professionals. I'm João Marques Lima, and joining me today is Dean Boyle, CEO of EkkoSense. Dean, welcome to JSA. It's been an eventful year. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, João. Yeah, thanks for the call.
No worries. Look, you work in a very particular and very interesting space, and a space that we are wasting a lot of resources on because a lot of operators don't have visibility into it. So let's dive right in. How serious is the problem of energy waste or cooling resources being overused due to the lack of visibility into the infrastructure?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's definitely a huge problem in the industry, and sadly, it's one that isn't going to get any better unless we start addressing the challenges. And there's some very simple, low-hanging things we can do to improve the situation. I mean, even this week, obviously, it's a very timely discussion. This an IPCC report, which has been well documented, some very scary quotes in there about rapid, large-scale reduction in greenhouse gases, and it's almost impossible to turn back the clock very shortly unless we do something almost immediately. And again, well trotted out stats, but data centers, it is well known that data centers are already established as one of the world's highest collectors, consumers of energy. So again, I think everybody realizes that data centers are a huge energy consumer, but there is not enough activity going on to resolve that. And just things that we're very closely involved with on our side is the cooling side of it. So again, fairly well known in the industry, but roughly 35% of energy in a data center facility is taken up by the cooling load. So anything that can be done to reduce that element, again, makes a significant contribution to reducing carbon and hitting our carbon targets. But one of the reasons why there hasn't been a lot of or not enough work done in this area is that it's particularly difficult to do it without access to proper data sets, without some intelligent analytics, I mean, without just giving the operators and the owners a little bit of help to make those decisions and to see where changes can be made. And again, one of the issues that we see quite a lot is traditional software platforms in the data center space, of which there are a number of different types, but they're typically there to provide mission critical failure alerts or basic trending data with a minimal number of sensor points. So it's just not helpful enough when you're trying to find areas of inefficiency, when you're trying to hit an energy saving target, a carbon reduction target, or trying to identify areas of wastage to release some capacity. And again, just back to EkkoSense, that's absolutely the area that we're targeting, and definitely where EkkoSense can make a difference. And we routinely take out fairly significant chunks of energy, up to 30%. So fairly routinely, we get involved in those kind of things. So yes, it's a big problem.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, and it's so factual, so point well at the moment with the new climate report that came out with some very scary figures. So we'll definitely have to do our little bit to help the planet. But let's talk about EkkoSense. You've already mentioned a little bit about it, but let's talk about EkkoSense, because I remember you were probably the first one that I've ever seen using VR in the data center. I think that was back in 2016. We went to the Excel, and that's when I met you. I mean, talk us through the brand. Talk us through, you've seen this opportunity very early on, for sure, because you started in the mid-2010s, earlier than most. Talk us through EkkoSense. What do you do? How did it come about? Why that logo that you got behind you with the lizards? Give us a quick overview of the company.
Okay, so one of the best decisions we ever made was have the gecko as our logo. I get more interest and more requests about the logo than anything else. So, so maybe we should just start selling geckos. So we're a UK-based business developed a software platform called EkkoSoft Critical, which is today deployed at customers all over the world. I think there's most regions of the globe that we cover these days, either directly or via our fairly extended partner network. Very close tie-ins with some leading universities in the UK. So do some fairly cutting-edge research on machine learning, analytics, virtual reality, and just crunching large data sets. Also gives us access to some of the best people coming off the production line. I say youngsters, everybody feels like a youngster, but we get access to the best mechanical engineers, best software engineers, best hardware engineers, and definitely they are a significant contributor to our business. And what EkkoSense was set up to do is to use new technologies, embrace new technologies, be disruptive in the industry, which a company like EkkoSense has to do, and really just challenge the way that data centers were being managed, how they're used for driving efficiencies, for managing capacity, for managing change, for being able to spot risk. And it again, back to existing incumbent software systems, of which there are many types. We're just really trying to challenge how they work and deliver a bit more granularity using the very latest technologies. So latest technologies around cloud, around IoT sensors, virtual reality, as you've mentioned, João, machine learning, analytics. There's some very nice technologies, security enhancements. There's some nice technologies now, which EkkoSense, of course, is based on, which allows you to take very, very detailed, granular, multiple data sets, and then apply some machine learning analytics to deliver very tangible recommendations. But again, it's a lot of existing systems, historical systems, they are normally quite technical, quite complex to use. So we're trying to use the technology, use the latest gaming technologies, for example, in the interface, using the VR, as you say, and just trying to make very complex PhD level analytics on mechanical or on electrical workloads, on airflow, but give them in a very simple, intuitive, lightweight infrastructure that multiple stakeholders, facilities management companies, multi-tenanted facilities, enterprise customers, colo, they can all get the benefits and use a very simple set of analytics to deliver very tangible benefits, and ultimately deliver three things. It's always a risk reduction, so spot areas of risk, spot where things are trending in the wrong direction, and being able to predict things before they happen and do some preventative maintenance. But then, of course, the payback comes in the form of significant energy savings, which is the payback to put these kind of systems in. And energy is always the headline. But more and more, again, with power densities, with difficulties of getting power in some regions, it's about optimizing those environments from a capacity perspective. So make sure you're using the capacity as best as you can, find areas of inefficiency to allow you to, as I say, to run these spaces more efficiently and get more kit into the white space ultimately. And that's ultimately what EkkoSense does.
If we look into, for example, CAPEX and OPEX, do you have some ballpark figures or percentages of how much you help to save in a normal data center?
Yeah, I mean, on average, and we work in fairly large data centers, so average data center type halls of 300 racks up to the tens of thousands of racks in the very big facilities. And over a sample of hundreds of data centers that we've worked on, it's a 30% cooling energy saving across those sites, with some customers seeing significantly in advance of that 40-45% saving. So very significant. Obviously depends on the type of environment, type of customer, the particular challenges that they've got. But those energy savings are usually substantial. And as I mentioned earlier, it's energy is typically the headline, but the things that are byproducts of the software of this type of system, it is the ability also, once you've got that granularity of data and that intelligent processing of data, is the tangible benefits also around removal of risk, identification and removal of risk, and that capacity management. And again, it's okay taking significant chunks of energy out or delivering the benefits that I mentioned, but you of course have to deliver it with a compelling ROI for the customer to of course afford it. So there's been a lot of work done on these types of systems, and we are no different to really getting a compelling ROI. So often it is less than a year, and very rarely is it ever above 2 years. Again, some of the challenges from customers, very big customers, we're being challenged more and more to, again, introduce a bit of innovation, a bit of disruption around the funding model, commercial model. So the ability to offer OPEX type models where the service, the software is funded out of energy savings. So there's actually no upfront cost. Customer gets the saving and all the benefits that we've talked about, and it's funded entirely out of the energy savings. So we're getting more and more of that type of request.
That's interesting. I was actually going to pick up on the customers as well. I mean, you've been going for 6, 7, 8 years now. And I mean, at the time, I remember the first time we spoke, the conversation was even around like, are customers willing to have small sensors deployed into the data center, for example? What's the customer journey been like since then, over the last few years? And also in terms of acceptance, of having these new software and these new deployments within the data center space? Have they seen the benefits? Talk us through the customer journey and the acceptance of what you're doing.
Some customers have absolutely embraced it. They have CSR targets, corporate targets to deliver energy savings, be energy efficient, have significant energy targets, but then I've also got some operational challenges they want a bit of help with. So we have some well-documented case studies. Again, you can't talk about all customers in our industry, so every vendor has the same challenge. But the ones that we have got some very public case studies, done some amazing work across large chunks of their estate. So Digital Realty, Interaction, O2, Daisy, where we've deployed our technologies across their estates and delivered some fantastic energy savings, plus the operational benefits of visibility, risk, and capacity. I think the market is definitely starting to wake up a little bit to innovative technologies. The challenge has always been some of the big incumbent players, of course, claim that they can deliver a lot of that very granular benefit. It's often not the case at all. So they are very good at the alerting side of it, as I mentioned earlier, some of the trending, but that granularity of data to produce actual energy savings and commit to those energy savings and deliver it, very tangible savings, they often are not able to do that. And it needs a disruptive player, disruptive technology like EkkoSense and EkkoSoft to do that. And to be honest, because some of those technologies that some of the big operators have deployed have clearly not delivered the kind of things needed to run an efficient, lean operation and deliver the benefits and deliver the capacity and energy benefits. I think it needs disruptive new technologies. As I mentioned earlier, the new technologies available, cloud technologies, new breed of software, new breed of analytics like EkkoSense and other vendors. I think it needs that innovation to really be disruptive and deliver the changes that some of the traditional players are just not able to deliver. So it has been a challenge, but pleased to say that most of the vendors are slowly coming around to it now.
It seems to be going well. And look, Dean, as you now get into the first decade of operations, it's not that far away. What's next? What are you planning? You're a UK-based business. Are we looking to intercontinental expansions? I mean, we are still, I don't know if it's safe to say coming out of COVID, but we are still going through COVID, which has boosted data center business as well. I mean, what is the business working on for the future, for the next 2-3 years?
So a few things. So naturally, as a very ambitious scaling business like ours, geographical expansion has to be right at the forefront. So we've recently taken on first employees incorporated in the US, taken on VP of sales in various regions. So APAC, EMEA, US, getting some business out of Africa, some Latin American countries. So starting to geographically spread and get global reach. So that's a given really for any kind of ambitious business like ours. But where we're really driven and where a business like EkkoSense, I say that disruptive, innovative business, it is of course always around the technology and the business models and customers. So we've got our own pipeline of work that would see us going for a long, long time. But customers naturally give you another set of challenges and things they want to see, and piecing that all together into a coherent roadmap. So we see it will always be a focus of ours is around the optimization, putting the power of PhD skill sets, mechanical electrical skill sets into a set of very simple, intuitive, easy to use analytics and interface. So Cooling Advisor, which allows a customer to make those changes in a very dynamic and data center environment without the need for consultancy-led engagements. Cooling Advisor will always get a lot of focus. And then the other big one for us in terms of technology is around the capacity management. So again, just challenging the way things have always been done with lots of manual methods or complex spreadsheets or unwieldy DSIM type systems. Just doing, again, a very lightweight capacity management, but purely for the mechanical electrical side. We are working quite a lot on the whole capacity management side of it, and introducing some fairly significant functionality in the next 6 months towards the end of the year, which allows you to model and simulate some of the big central plant changes. And then finally, we will also expand and grow and help spread the message with technology partnerships. So couple of very nice technology partnerships in the pipeline. A recent one that we've announced with an asset management company called Assets Buyer, which again is just challenging traditional ways of managing mechanical, electrical, and the IT side of it into a new breed of DSIM tool, which collectively we can deliver. So again, whilst we are very good at what we do, there are areas where we can collaborate and have some very nice technology integration.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that all sounds very exciting because, circling back to almost the beginning of our conversation, when I met you, it was the very beginning. I think it was only a handful of you guys still working in the company at the time. So it's grown a lot since then. But then if people want to find more information about EkkoSense, reach out, maybe read those case studies that you mentioned before as well. Where can people go?
Okay, so delighted to have a conversation with anybody. The website, EkkoSense.com, naturally a great source of information. So products, benefits, use cases. We also try and do a lot on thought leadership and explain our methods, the results we get and how we go about that. So we published a couple of really nice white papers that are on there. One about AI machine learning to deliver optimization, one about the energy saving work that we talked about. So the website's always the first source and the great source of getting information. So also a couple of very useful videos on there to give a high level summary of the software, give you some of the key features and just show you how it can help. The other outlet for us is LinkedIn. We do a lot of work on LinkedIn and all product updates, partner news, new white papers, etc. are always on the LinkedIn, and we'd always encourage people to follow the company LinkedIn page. Naturally, of course, we've got various salespeople, direct and an extensive partner network who will be delighted to help and arrange a software demo or meet up or have a call. And please just get in touch with one of the regional sales team or one of our global partners via the website.
A lot of different avenues to get in touch.
Definitely, always.
Dean Boyle, CEO of EkkoSense, thank you so much for talking to us. And thank you to our viewers for tuning into JSA TV and JSA podcasts. And don't forget to check our social channels for more content. Until next time, happy networking.